I'm kind of like on the fence about this one.
Oh no. Let
Mm-hmm.
me elaborate because I did work in the food industry before. And so my point, like to start it off, if you live in America, you have to tip because
Well, you don't
servers
have to actually. You
well,
can
for most like
yeah,
restaurants, like they include
gratuity and like your
yes. And so like I'm just saying like in general, I guess like in majority, you have to tip because most servers rely on it.
mm-hmm.
And so but I was thinking about it, like you're gonna be an a-hole if you don't tip
Mm-hmm.
because your servers rely on it. But just because that's the system that we have here doesn't mean that it's a good system, as in why does it have to be up to the customers whether or not the waiters and waitresses are getting paid humanely?
Mm-hmm. Well, I feel like, and if I just like drop the phone and start running, it's because I have two pit bulls right now, and I'm a dog sitter, and they are like wilding out. And so sometimes I have to like get them, and I'm like, no, like she was jumping on the counter and knocking things off, and so like it's like having children who can reach everything. Like it's kind of scary,
Oh,
but
that's adorable.
yeah, this is Lilith. This is Lola. That's the troublemaker, and
Hello.
that's Dobby. Dobby doesn't do anything. Dobby's the best one here. But yeah, if they were all Dobby, I would be great. But they're not. So, but how I feel is like, okay, so I went out to eat the other day, and that's what kind of made me think about this too. And it said if your party's over 6, gratuity is automatic with 15%. And so how I felt about it, and because I went up to pay, and I was like, oh, that seems legit. But then when I had to pay, like the lady was a total jerk. And she was just being really rude. And when I went to pay, because I'm the type, so all I had then was cash and some change, because that's, my friends and I were all going to get pad thai, and like that's exactly how much I had. And so, yeah. And so I went to go give it to her, and she was like, if you just had 50 cents, we could save a lot of time. And I was like, well, all I have is 41 because that's what was given to me. Like, she didn't want to count it. And I was like, I give you money. Money is money. And I didn't even eat there. I just ordered out. So it's not even like I really got serviced, like by a waitress or a waiter. And I was like, really? You're that, like stuck on it? She wanted me to tip her for giving me my food. And I was like, I understand the principle, but you didn't serve, like, you didn't provide me with a service to tip you for.
Yes.
And I've had waiters that are god awful. Like, I had a waiter come, and I had like a bowl of noodles, and he just like slammed it down on the table. And I was like,
wow.
Yeah, and it got like all over me. And I was like, I'm not tipping for this. Like, you did a terrible job. If the job's not there, and I understand, I think waiters and waitresses get a lot more respect. But if you're not performing the service well enough, then there's no point in you really, if you're, for me, this is what it comes down to. If you're on that point where you're like, if I don't get this tip, I'm not going to make it, you should be doing everything in your power to make sure you get that tip. You should be smiling. You should be like, every plate, if you make a mistake, that's a mistake. And I'm sure if you tell people like, oh, I'm so sorry, like you'll have occasionally like an a-hole. But most of the time, like if you would turn around and be like, I'm so sorry, I'm the type, like I'm a total klutz. If I was a waiter, I would probably like be that person to fall and like drop all the dishes, like not an entire table, and like
that
drag
would be
it
me.
Yeah, that would be me. I'm a total klutz. So like I totally understand making mistakes, but not even apologizing or thinking you have a right to get tipped it's not right, because you don't. It's my choice, not your right. It's not like
that is very true.
Yeah, that's how I feel. And I don't think tipping should be banned, because if you do an exceptional job, you should earn that extra service, but it's earned. It's not received. Yes. I think that's where it gets kind of like, mixed.
Like in the UK, tipping is very optional, because another thing that boggles me is because the service industry is like the only place where this custom, like for example, if you go out to go shop and you buy a pair of jeans, which is like $50, you're not going to go up to the cashier like, okay, it's $40, and then you decide whether or not the cashier gets to eat tonight or whatever.
Like, I don't know if you like have ever shopped at like a Victoria's Secret, but that's even more because like they size you, they give you the bras, and they're literally serving you. They go and get them, and if it's the wrong size, they're like, okay, let me get another one. You don't tip them. You don't
And
tip
so
them.
that's
Yeah.
also another thing I was thinking. I shouldn't have worded it banned in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I think another way around this is if we just don't, if we make tipping optional and then make it to where our waiters and waitresses are getting paid minimum wage, or at least that's what I'm saying, like as a starter, like
Yeah.
because for me, like I would rather not I would rather get paid in a humanely way that's very supportive. I don't know the word for it.
No, I see what you're saying.
And
Yeah.
so rather
Rather
than
get paid in a way
them,
that's like it's
yeah,
sustaining you to where you don't have to rely on tips to like earn your
yes,
night and to be able to sustain yourself. And I agree with that. But then I also feel like if you're in that, okay, so if I'm a waitress and I'm going to college and I need this money or I'm not going to be able to like live or do my
mm-hmm,
stuff, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure I get that tip. Like there would not be one moment where someone would be like going to tip me and would even doubt giving me a
mm-hmm,
tip to like be able to recall an instance, you know? And if they have a mistake, that's different. But I've dealt with waitresses that almost feel like an entitlement, like because I'm a waitress, stop it. Because Dobby does not like one of the other pit bulls. He's like, no, chill out my space. Really. But so, you know, like I feel like some are entitled and want that like, you know, when I go to school, I don't sit down and like I'm going to get an A because I'm entitled to it. I'm going to get
yes,
my grade plus extra because I'm here. I'm giving my time. I'm doing my teacher's assignments. Like, that's not how it works, you know? And so, in every aspect of society, we don't do it like that. But in one instance, we want to like flip it around and be like, oh, because you service me. What about plumbers or electricians who come to your
yes,
house and service you? Do we tip them?
yeah.
It just doesn't really make sense. Like the entire I see why we do it, but the entire I think it just started like probably someone was being nice and then it turned into like a really big trend.
It started how I learned this in class the other day actually. But so in prohibition in America when they banned alcohol, the like restaurant owners didn't make as much money because they couldn't sell them anymore. And so instead of firing all their employees, they told them, I can't pay you minimum wage anymore, so you better suck up to the customers so they can give you the cash and stuff like that. And before
Mm-hmm.
that happened, it was tipping was a way of like bribery. Like if you came to someone and said, here's a little more extra for our dining today because I'm a very special person, they saw that as like, oh, that's unfair because everybody in America should have equal service and everything. But then like after
Mm-hmm.
prohibition and everything, it all
Rich
changed a bit
people
more.
at it again.
Yes.
um yeah, and it's just kind of the entire system when you don't really question it growing up because it's something that's like ingrained into you, you know, you're always like
Hmm.
how much did you
You've grown up to it.
yeah,
It's just
but then
a custom.
when I first really thought about it, I was like, this is weird. Like, this shouldn't be a thing. It's kind of ridiculous. Either like everyone should get tips in every part of your life, but if we did that, we'd all be broke. Because
Yeah.
how many times a day would I be tipping people? I mean, yeah, God,
I
that'd be
got a
ridiculous.
lot.
Yeah, I'd be like, I have no money. I spent it all on tips. God.
So I've heard like another way that restaurants have gone around tipping is they just make the food more expensive
Mm-hmm. And
to
then half
where
part of that goes to the waiters.
yes, and so like they'd be able to they'd be able to pay their employees to
Lola, go away. He doesn't like you. I read he's just not that into you. And this is like all of it. Get out. Lola. Hold on. She doesn't know what no means. Lola, get out. He doesn't like you. He's not into you. He doesn't want to date you. He just wants to be friends. You're in the friend zone. Stay there. Dogs. She just
do you have
wants
any of your
she wants
own?
to be friends. She doesn't understand why he won't be friends. She's like, I'm so nice though. He wants nothing to do with her. Because they follow me like a little parade of animals. So I have to like go position myself somewhere away from him so she'll follow me. Okay, but go ahead. Okay, I'm good now.
They sound adorable.
I don't know, you can't see from that angle, but both of them are just like, yeah. Oh, goodness. Okay, go. I'm just gonna pretend like this isn't happening.
There's no way.
She's sitting on me. No, she hopped up on me. Yeah, this is the most attention I get in any aspect of my life. All right, back on up. All right. Sad truth.
Me too.
No, go ahead.
So, me thinking about it overall, I can't think of a way around it right now because it is like an American custom. Like you have to tip. So like I know what I want, but I just don't know how.
I think it's like the fact that we
change
don't use the metric system. We're all just gonna have to one day accept it because it's better. I mean, like literally everywhere uses the metric system. I use it. It's so much easier. And
it is much
I tell
easier.
everyone, and they're like, "But it's communist," and I'm like, how is it communist? That doesn't even make sense. Like, people are so stupid. They're like, oh, it's communist. It's from Europe. Okay. You're feeling history, right? Because that doesn't seem correct. Yeah, so I just question America sometimes. I love America. It's my country. But sometimes I just question its people. Like, we don't make good decisions as a whole.
We're definitely not perfect.
Oh, anyway, goodness. Look at our election right now. We are not perfect. Goodness. Yeah, well, thanks for talking to me. That was really interesting.
No problem.
And it's good to hear from like a person who's been in the, hey, get off, go wrestle over there. It's good to hear from someone who's like, whenever they want to wrestle or do anything like messing with each other, they do it right on top of me. And I don't understand why you wouldn't just go, and okay, from the sound of it, you would think they're like killing each other, but they just love wrestling with each other. They're like sisters. Hey, move. Hey, get out.
They love housing.
She want to play with you. What?
They just love roughhousing, I guess.
Yeah, you could say that. They just love getting on my nerves. Huh, Lola. Huh, Lola. Earlier, I had the treats up there, and I took the lid off, and I had them on the counter, and I don't know what I thought, but I didn't think it was a bad idea. And then all I heard was this really big crash, and Lola had jumped on the counter and knocked the entire bin over. So I had to grab her by her hind legs and like hold her and try to put the treats in the jar. Lola is much stronger than I am. So I was like wrestling her, trying to get them in the jar. She ate a ton of them. I don't know how many she ate. She'll be fine. I mean, they're healthy, but still.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. And then the other two, Dobby came out from his hiding place and was trying to get the treats too. I was like, Dobby, you're the good one. Go back. Like, you're supposed to be my buddy. And it's just terrible. And she got put in timeout in her crate. So I have to put her in her crate every night. It's so hard to get her in. She's so strong. Like, it's like trying to fit a me-sized human into a crate. Like, and they're kicking. She, like, will butt her head up so I can't put her in. Or she'll put her paws against it. And, like, she'll fight me. It's not cool. She's a jerk.
Is the dog much stronger than you are?
Yeah, she's a pit bull. I don't know if you've ever seen like a full-grown pit bull, and like especially a very healthy pit bull. They're so muscular that they are like ridiculously strong. It's like a person on steroids. Like when they wrestle sometimes, I'm like, I'm not getting in the middle of that. Heck no. I'm like, you two are gonna have to settle it out. I'm not dying. Because like for them it's fine if they like nip at each other, but like there goes one of my fingers. Like I don't want to end up like that. I'm like, you two settle it out. I need all my look, she's just chewing on her sister. She's chewing on her like she's a chicken wing, like, and she just lets her. Lilith, why don't you stand up for yourself? God, these dogs have issues. Oh goodness. All right.
Is it fun being a dog sitter?
I love it. I actually worked at a zoo and I was an emu handler.
Wow.
So I don't know if you know when. Can you not? I was an emu handler, so I used to work with emus. Are like smaller ostriches, and why when you
I
wrestle,
can
do
hear
you have
that.
to be so loud? It's because when they wrestle, like they have to be so loud. If they were silent, I wouldn't care. I'd be like, go at it, do it. I don't care.
Go
But they're so loud, and then their neighbors probably think, like I'm letting them kill each other, like I'm having Hunger Games with pit bulls in the backyard. But like, no, they're just wrestling. They're not even hurting each other. Oh, but it's so funny. When I leave and put her in a crate, I have to turn a light on because she's afraid of the dark.
Oh, really?
Totally. When I came, it was
That's
dark
so
and someone
cute.
forgot to turn her light on. So she like flipped out and she like broke a ton of the blinds. And Lola, this is why you don't have friends. Knock it off. And she like broke the blinds and like this is what she does when she's in trouble. I don't know if you can see her hips. She drags herself because she's supposed to lay down when she gets in trouble. And so like Lola, she drags herself on the ground. See her hips?
Yeah.
She doesn't walk. She like army crawls and drags herself on the ground because she knows she's not supposed to get up. So I told her, Lola, lay down, stay there. And so she dragged herself across the floor because she wanted to move, but she knew she couldn't get up and was like just dragging her. She's so intelligent. She's such a brat.
They're all spoiled.
No, she's not even spoiled. They're
Really?
they're not. She's just a jerk. She's like too smart for her own good. Like if I could take a few IQ points away from her and give them to Dobby, I would, because Dobby would be perfectly all right being super intelligent, but she can't handle it. She chose to be evil. Yep. But they're cute. That's what matters.
That's what makes the job better.
Yeah, and they're loving. They're super sweet. Whenever people come like to the door, they get super protective of me. Like they start barking and growling, which is cool because then nobody's gonna rob me. Like, try it. I got some pit bulls in here. Like, good luck. So, yeah. All right. It was good talking to you. I'll probably debate you on something else. I find it like if I debate someone one time, I debate them a couple times because like I end up seeing all stuff.
Yeah, there's not much people on this app actually. Now that I have been on it for a couple more days.
It has like spikes to where like it'll be like tonight is really active.
Yes, but last night was not at all.
It'll be like not, and I have like 68 followers now, I think, and so like lately I've been getting more, but it'll have spikes, but it's hard because like okay, like one person I'm trying to debate with religion right now, like he'll challenge me and then I'll accept it, but he won't be on, and then he'll like accept it, and then I won't be on, and we'll just go back and forth. And then none of us will be on.
That's exactly what's been happening to me too.
Yeah. And then I'm like, oh no, it's just like 5 minutes ago, which is like an hour in this app time. Yeah. All right. Well, Lilith says goodbye. But Lilith also just cackled me. Oh God, not again.
Good night.
Yep. All right. Have a great night.
Have a good one.
I'll see you later. All right, bye.
Me too.